Okay, guys, so we're going to be reacting to the story of Roblox's richest developer. It's by Skate, by the way. I'll have a link down below. As always, let's do it. Here we go.
Between aggressive monetization, pushing the boundaries of what is possible, between aggressive monetization tactics and consistently breaking Roblox player count records. Preston has solidified himself as a cornerstone in the Roblox developer community. Wait a minute, how did he get this far? To find this out, we have to journey all the way back to September 2nd, 2011, the first day that Preston would log on to the game that would change his life forever. Preston began his Roblox journey by the name of Silver Sword Gold 2.
Silver Sword Gold 2. Amazing, man. Bonsai Buddy? He did not. Oh my god.
2. He took an early obsession with sword RPG games, creating 3 before releasing his first big project in 2012. Limited Tycoon. Preston was just 11 years old at the time, creating a game that actually followed Roblox's limited market system. And at this point, it was beginning to look like the birth of a prodigy. Fast forward a few years, and Preston would go on to release his first 2 profitable games at the age of 13, Guest Defense and Guest Defense 2. I'm sure you can guess what the main gameplay loop of this game was. This is a remake I found that another guy made, and oh my goodness, OG Roblox was a time. Believe it or not, I remember these games like it was yesterday. Yes, guys, I am old, go away. It's so crazy to think that I was playing these games at the same age that Preston was making them. The young prodigy would go on to
You know what I was doing whenever I was 13 years old? I was picking my nose and eating it. That's what I was doing.
It's a few more games.
And now look at me. I play Roblox every day.
Resulting in minor success at best. But then, in October 2014, Preston released the game that would change everything. Giant Survival was a round-based survival game that would go on to be Preston's first big hit, amassing almost 40 million plays before eventually being closed. This game even inspired a sequel, Giant Survival 2, but as with the first one, it also stopped being updated and eventually was closed. By this time, Preston was beginning to become a recognized name in the Roblox developer community. He had already transitioned his former studio, Spark Studios, into big games in 2015. He then proceeded to release a variety of games, with most reaching limited success at best. Preston was quiet for a few years, but it's now April 2018, and Preston would go on to release a flurry of simulator games every 2 weeks. Here's where the game we all know and love began.
Every 2 weeks?
Pet Simulator 1. Pet Sim was a smash hit, amassing over 50,000 users on
he made a new simulator game every 2 weeks?
First day of release. Preston knew he had something special here, so he would go on to update this game nearly 20 times. Pet Sim 1 is very similar to the current game we know and love, and you can definitely see where the foundation of the later games comes from. In Pet Sim 1, you would actually buy hats as well as pets to increase your pet power.
What?
Pretty interesting, but I'm definitely glad they changed this feature. The pets also looked way different compared to what we're used to in Pet Sim X. They look kind of like, I don't know, derpy for lack of a better word.
They don't look that great.
And now we're going to fast forward all the way to 2019, the year I would consider to be Preston's most influential year before the release of Pet Sim X. Releasing titles such as Build and Survive, a remake of Giant Survival, and one of Big Game's biggest hits, Big Paintball.
I love Big Paintball. Look, I know I complain about Preston and big games and how they're, they're basically the EA of Roblox. Like, I complain about that a lot, but I think Big Paintball is a great game. I'll say that. I love Big Paintball. It's great.
Preston was beginning to climb the mountain of success, and he was approaching the summit very quickly. Build and Survive is a game where you do exactly what the title entails. You build and you survive. Can't really go much deeper than that. And as you can see, it's pretty fun. I definitely remember playing this with my cousins back in the day, and honestly, it's just absurd to see where Preston has gone from his humble beginnings even just 4 short years ago. Preston even added himself dancing at the shop. Next, Big Games released the
He hit the gwitty, guys. He hit the gwitty.
Giant Survival remake, which was met with huge success, gaining over 216 million visits to date. I'll be honest, Preston does seem to like his Giant Survival games. He's released like 3 of them over the last decade, but they're fun, so I'm not complaining. While these numbers may seem pretty huge, they actually pale in comparison to Preston's biggest hit of this year, a game we all still know and love, Big Paintball.
I love the game. It's great.
Paintball offered a place for those who just couldn't compete in sweatier FPS games such as Arsenal and Phantom Forces, and it allowed people to just kick back and relax enjoying some good old-fashioned Roblox paintball. This game is considered Big Game's biggest success so far, aside from the Pet Simulator games, amassing almost 1.5 billion visits so far. Next, we're gonna pay a visit to one of the other games released this year, the Giant Survival remake. This was a massive throwback to Preston's first truly viral game, and it most definitely did not disappoint. The gameplay is fun, fun, and you can definitely see the graphical leap from this game to Pet Simulator X. It definitely does have its issues though, as you can see here, like this guy just cannot even move, so unlucky for him. I don't think it's been updated in a while, in all honesty.
Probably
so that's
not.
Probably why. These two games were likely Preston's first taste of true wealth, and he would only seek to build his business empire even further. However, what Preston didn't know is that it would take a massive mistake for him to truly reach his full potential as a developer. Pet Simulator 2 released on December 1st.
Okay, this is going to be extremely controversial, what I'm about to say. I liked Pet Simulator 2. I liked Pet Simulator 2. The problem with Pet Simulator 2 is, well, hold on. We're just going to keep watching the video.
2019 with all the hype in the world surrounding its announcement. People were absolutely stoked for the second installment of the game that was beloved across Roblox.
Yeah.
However, unfortunately, the hype would not last. The game was doomed to failure from the start, as it was released with very few features, including some very basic features of Pet Sim 1s that players had already gotten used to. Trading wasn't in the game unless you had VIP, you couldn't upgrade your pets to gold, and you couldn't even mass or auto-delete pets.
A lot of the stuff that you were used to doing, you had to pay Robux to do. So, like, you want to trade, guess what? Got to pay Robux. And that was the biggest problem. The second biggest problem with the game is he changed the formula. Like, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it works, great. Keep doing it. You know what I mean? Keep doing it.
Oh, and if I forgot to mention it, VIP was a time-limited game pass. Like, it would run out after you bought it. I will say that the upgrade system was pretty cool, but honestly, it just overall felt like the game was extremely rushed and released just for the sake of getting a game out there. Preston even tweeted beforehand that the game was expected to be extremely underwhelming, as seen here. As Pet Sim 2's release inches even closer, I want to set some expectations. At launch, there will only be 2 worlds, 3 eggs, and 23 pets. He would also commit to updates every week after launch. This brings us to what
That didn't happen. He updated it one time and then he was like, nope,
I think is the biggest learning experience Preston has had in his career so far. If you know that something isn't ready, don't release it. I think the game being rushed was a huge reason why it wasn't as successful as it could have been. It seemed like players were just offered a new map, which is actually very hard to navigate in all honesty, and they were just expected to hand over their money and enjoy it. The game was also heavily advertised as the first simulator that wasn't pay to win, and well, you guys saw, the game released and you
That was a lie. Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to talk about is he kind of straight up lied about it not being pay to win. Not going to lie, he kind of lied about it a little bit.
literally had to have VIP to trade. Pretty pay to win if you ask me. You also quite literally could not get the best pets in the game, and you couldn't even access the latest worlds every update unless you had VIP. I really have no idea what Big Games was thinking with this one. Pet Simulator 2 would go on to be updated only 4 times before inevitably being discontinued as Preston moved on to other projects. Now, after the massive learning experience that was Pet Sim 2, Preston set his sights on fixing the mistakes he made. Pet Simulator X would release on July 29th, 2021, attracting the attention of dozens of content.
Okay, dude. Really? Are you okay? Are you, bro? You had to use that picture. He had to use that picture. Like out of all the KreekCraft pictures, that one.
Creators and players alike. Names like KreekCraft, Russo, and more were all playing the game at launch, and it was looking like Preston had finally done it. He'd made Roblox his next big hit. Gaining over 100,000 players on release, Pet Sim X shot up in popularity almost instantaneously. This would only be the start though, as Preston and his team of devs would work around the clock to produce almost weekly updates. As each week passed, Pet Sim's concurrent player count would continue to rise almost exponentially. And Preston, being the savvy businessman that he is, decided to capitalize on this hype with a series of plushie releases, starting with the huge cat plushie, which I'm sure you guys remember sold out very quickly.
Look, I hate that these plushies are like $250. I hate it. I think it's so but man, I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty smart move. Like, if you want to make a lot of money, that's how you do it. Like, okay.
With each plushie you purchased, you also received a redeemable code for an in-game version of the pet. These things resold for hundreds on eBay, and they are now considered one of the rarest and most expensive pets in the game, with many players offering dozens of huge pets just for a single huge cat. Preston would continue to release many updates in the coming months, even producing updates for nearly every holiday, including Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's, and more. It was safe to say that players were absolutely hooked, but this was just the beginning. From mid-2022 to now, Pet Sim began to explode in popularity. The game was averaging 200 to 300k players at once for a time, and began to shatter records almost every time a new update dropped. Nearly every major update in 2023 has had over 1 million players online, and
including
this is mostly
today.
due to Preston offering update gifts for people who are around when the update drops, but it's still absolutely...
That's such a good idea, by the way. I'm totally stealing that idea whenever we do our game. Like, whenever Carl Jacobs and I makes our game, that's a good idea. I'm still in that. So thank you, Preston. That's a great idea.
Absolutely crazy. Talking about crazy numbers, the daycare update on February 25th had over 1.5 million players at one point. Now, Preston has continued to release plushies periodically, including releasing extremely limited quantity Titanic plushies like the Blobfish and Hippo Melon. There were only 75 of each of these, and they are currently reselling for over $2,000 on eBay. Not so bad for a stuffed animal. Overall, I think it's pretty clear that Preston has earned his place on the Mount
Now, hold up a minute. I don't know about that. Hold up a minute. Wait, maybe. I don't know about that. I would Mini Tune for sure. Asimo and Bad CC for sure. But I don't know. I don't even know who this is. Isn't this the Meep City guy? You know what? Let's get the Meep City guy off of there. You can put Preston in his place. And then we'll put L Splash over here. So it'll go Asimo, Bad CC, get rid of Meep City guy, put Preston in Meep City's place, Mini Tune, and then L Splash. Yeah.
Rushmore of Roblox developers. He's consistently pushed the limits of the platform, even to the point where people would expect Roblox to go down every time Pet Sim updated. Like, this man single-handedly made Roblox upgrade their servers. Honestly, Preston is a fantastic role model for the next generation of developers. He's...
Okay. I don't know about that one. Look, I respect the heck out of Preston. But Big Games is quite literally the EA of Roblox, okay? Like, if you want to talk EA games, like, I don't know about that.
Perfectly balanced, turning a profit with keeping players coming back, and I'm sure his career will have many long, prosperous years ahead. Regardless of your opinions regarding how pay to win the game is, you do have to admit that what Preston has accomplished in just a few short years is nothing short of incredible. And that is how Roblox made this kid a millionaire. Guys, this video took hours upon
That was a good
hours
video. That was a good video. I'm going to like that video, and I'm also going to subscribe. There you go. That was good. That was a good video. Yeah. Round of applause. That was a great video. He should definitely make some more videos like that for sure.